Hello there, Barbara Allen from Grammar Go Language Resources here. I just thought I would go through a sentence builder with you um, to show you the sort of things that I do with my sentence builders, with my learners, and to maybe give you some ideas as to what you could do with them as well, because they're very flexible. You can do lots of different things. You'll find lots of different sentence builders on the Grab and Go website. And I love them. I love working um, with sentence builders at the very beginning to introduce new vocabulary and to um, show learners how they can uh, put sentences together. So this one is on a hotel room and booking into a hotel and finding out a bit more information about a hotel. And you'll see the way that it's set up is I've got key vocabulary around, and so je voudrais, and then the list of the type of vocabulary that they could um, have with je voudrais, and then bringing in a little bit more vocabulary as well, avec un grand lit, une douche, une salle de bain, etc. So we've got lots of this pieces of vocabulary which are really useful for this is aimed at beginners. So, but you can use sentence builders for lots and lots of different levels. So I would go through the sentence builder, checking that everybody understands the vocabulary, getting them to write them down. You can have this on a whiteboard, or you can, what I tend to do is just print it off and get people to write all over it if that's what they want to do. Quite happy for them to ask questions. We go through the pronunciation with beginner learners. We've been looking at the accent. So why television has accents on the A there, how that works, what those accents do. So you can introduce a lot of vocabulary, a lot of grammar without being too overt about it. So, talk about rez-de-chaussée and talk about the why it's O, and introduce genders of nouns. We can explain the importance of gender. So, for example, où se trouve le parking, le restaurant, la salle à manger, la piscine, l'ascenseur. So you can really talk about little pieces of grammar without it being too onerous for, especially for beginners. So we'll go through all the vocabulary, encourage people to ask as many questions as they need to, and make sure they've understood everything on there, they've written all over it, they've done what they want. And then I will get a whiteboard, or just mini whiteboards with pens and erasers, and I simply read out phrases from the sentence builder and get them to write them down. So they'll write down, ça va say, for example, je voudrais une chambre double avec une douche. So they would just write down, copy it from the sentence builder at the very start. So they will get used to the vocabulary and they're writing it down and they are becoming more comfortable with it. And so this is a nice listening exercise. It's a writing exercise. It's fixing that new vocabulary in. So I'll go through all of that, just reading out and getting them to write down the vocabulary. They show me the whiteboard. I check that it's okay. Maybe if there's any issues, with accents, or, if they've misheard something, then I would get them to correct that as we go along. And you can do that with this whole sentence builder with part of it. You can concentrate on est-ce que vous avez un plan de la ville, getting them to write down, to practice, to really work on this new vocab. Then, once you're happy with that, you can do some other exercises. You can do a pyramid, you can do a ping pong. But what you can also do is continue working on the sentence builder. What I tend to do is I start each class with a sentence builder activity, so reading and repeating, but also not just getting them to listen to the French when that's being read out, but I would say the phrases in English and get them to translate. So you can ask them to translate from English into French, from French into English. You can do this um, when they've got the sentence builder in front of them. But you can also ask them to put the sentence builder away and then just listen to what you've said and get them to write down what you've said, or to get them to translate what you've said. So really to work on getting this vocabulary into their memory and really working on that. Now, you can also do things like Faulty Echo, which something like should it be je voudrais un chambre double, or should it be je voudrais une chambre double? So getting them to listen and getting them to practice um, that pronunciation. You could read out part of the sentence builder and get them to repeat it, reading out parts of the sentence builder and getting them to whisper along to practice that vocabulary. There's lots and lots of different things that you can do with sentence builders. And they're just a few of the ideas. And I hope that they've given you some ideas that you can use within your class to exploit the sentence builders which are on the Crab and Go website, but you can also find sentence builders in lots of different places. So good luck with that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy working with sentence builders with your students.